Hey folks, I'm L.A. Little and this is TA Today's update on uranium, and the reason we're doing that is because uranium is starting to look pretty interesting again. Now, if you like the work I do, please give me a like, follow the channel, set the alarms, the alerts, but in particular, if you want to see some coverage of individual stocks, I'm going to do that in a separate video. Here I'm just going to do the physical. So if you want to see that, stick around to the end of the show or look at the link below and you can catch that video as well. As far as uranium, let's take a look at uranium itself. Let's go to the Toronto listing, which is the primary listing. And I want to go straight to what's most interesting, which is this retest regen is taking place off this swing point high. So retest regen basically says when you break out, right, at some point you're going to come back to retest that bar that you broke out over. And that's what started to happen here, and it's continued to happen on this next bar. So we're not out of the woods. There's 3 days left. The price point of 2049, price point over here is 2019. So right now 30 cents over it. Got 3 days. You got to hold that and stay above it. So the ideal case here, of course, is that you do that. Now, when you go a long period of time, in this case more than 6 bars being the critical area, the most likely high probability of this is going to try and regenerate higher. And it did that last month and it's doing it again this month. This is the point where it really needs to stick. And so sticking with that idea, let's pop over to the daily, because over on the daily we just had a bearish retest regen, which was here. So here's that swing point low. You broke below it here. Right, you come back in, you test, you go back below it, you test again, you go back below it, you test again, that's number 3, and then you come back in number 4. Folks, when you're out on number 4 on a test, probabilities are extremely high that is not going to regenerate to the downside. And in this case, it finally broke to the upside. Now, the other part of that is when you break over a swing point high or lows other side, which in this case is the high, that's telling you that the swing point high above, it's kind of a early warning system that more than likely it's going to get tested and broke, or at least get tested. And so, the whole idea, and I usually explain it this way, is when you do this, what was down is now sideways and potentially up. And so this will be the case where it goes sideways, and that would be the case where it actually goes up if it can get up that high. So we've got exactly what you want to see, which is on the short-term time frame, you're stretched on your MTTFs. Probability is extremely high that this is going to get clipped, right? And you're going to break it. When you go over a swing point, there's a high probability that within 1 to 2 bars, you're going to retest it. So you pop over it, you come back in, and you test it. Now this is not a wide bar, so you want to see it hold, but it probably, well, it should have difficulty in holding, and you could get all the way back down in this green support area that you see now. But in any event, however it happens, it's doing the right thing. Now let's go to the weekly, because the weekly is going to be where I focus. And that's because I'm more of a swing trader anymore. I don't day trade hardly, and I don't do quick pops in and out anymore. I'm more interested in writing trends, long-term trends. This is your retest regen off this swing point low, and we're a long way away from it, right? But if you look at that price point, that's 2250. If you go back over here, we're talking 2087, and up in here is that 2181, 2196. So that gets you up close to that area. So I could envision a case where this thing potentially runs right up into this 2220, $21.90, $22 price point, 22-point price point, and then tries to get some sort of a backing and filling and eventually a breakout. That would be consistent with what this chart is telling us, and as you can see here, this one is not stretched. And so it could take a while, and it should take a while when you've had this sort of damage done. It should take a while, go up, you come back, go up, and eventually you work your way out. And so that's the way this thing looks. Now, I like the way it looks. Now, if you go look at it on the SRUUF, which is the, let me find my screen here, which is the US listing, this takes into account dollar denominated situation. And as you can see here, when the dollar was so strong, this went down a lot more. It's way down inside that bullish retest regen and has a ways to go. Now, it did get to the second one, which had not been tested. And the probabilities here are extremely high that it's going to regenerate, and that's exactly what we just saw in the UUN. That's exactly what you see happening here. You test into it, you pop up. You test into it, you're popping back up again. And so the dollar denominated one is starting to show more strength because the dollar is getting weaker now, right? And that is allowing this thing to run faster and farther to the upside. I would say here, look at this one. Here you have the extension on the weekly time frame, right? And so this one says that this is probably going to try and change before too much longer. To do that, it's got to break that swing point high. To do that, this thing has to run another $3 on 15, which is a significant percentage. And so it looks to me like what you're going to see is you're going to see this thing work its way higher and get back up here and break this. And if you look at it, it has already broken the retest regen here, and there's that swing point high, just broke it there. Here's those next two or next set of highs that we just looked at on the UUN, which are much higher. Here they're not that much higher. We're only talking about a few percentages. I believe it's going to make it up to that area while the UUN makes it up to its area. And so in general here, what I see, good stuff, right? This thing is doing exactly what I want to see. It's just taking a very long time to get here. I tweeted about it this week. I wanted to follow up with a video to show you what's happening, and I'm going to follow up with another video after this one. You can see that up in the screen corner here if you want to click on it and watch that video. That's where we're at. I like what I see. Have a great one. See you next time.